So Killing Floor 2's new update called Neon Nightmare just launched this last Tuesday, March 24th. And at first glance, you're probably thinking there's one new map, one new weapon, one new paid weapon DLC. But there's actually quite a few changes they made to different weapons. And also they made some changes to some perk skills. And there's different combinations of weapons that you might want to try out now. Hey guys, this is Chris with B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing amazing today. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video, and thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments. Definitely appreciate it. Now to start with, guys, I have a couple PSAs for you. The first PSA I have for you is that Killing Floor 2 is actually on sale right now on Steam and also on PlayStation 4 here in the United States for $10, so it's actually a pretty good deal. Along with that, on Steam you can also save up to 50% on select in-game store items. And I did look, and this does include the weapon DLC, so I believe the compound bow is even on sale. And I looked at like the Yuletide Horror bundle, and also the Halloween bundle is also on sale. The second PSA I have for you, and this is for everybody for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, that double XP and quad drop raid is going on right now in Killing Floor 2. Now this is going to last all the way until Tuesday, March 31st. Now since we have double XP, I thought I'd give you guys a couple tips on how you can maximize the amount of XP you get while you're playing. Now if you just want to level up as fast as possible, obviously you can use a perk trainer map on PC, but these tips are for if you just want to play the game and have fun. Now the first tip I have for you, and this is for new Killing Floor 2 players, is you want to make sure you're using your perks weapons. So for example, if you're using Berserker, you want to use all the weapons in the Berserker column. And this seems, pretty obvious, but I do see new players once in a while running around with, like a medic with a eviscerator or something. So, they're probably wondering, it's like, why am I never leveling up? This takes forever. That's why. The second tip I have for you is in Killing Floor 2, you get just as much XP for an assist as you do for kills. So basically you want to use weapons that give you lots of assists. So some of my favorites are obviously any weapon with a firebug, you just get tons and tons of assists. With medic, the medic grenades, and also the 501 rifle, just lay them down and you just get tons and tons of assists. Tip number 3, in Killing Floor 2, 20% of your XP from your match is from the boss kill. So you want to make sure to get at least one hit on the boss at the start of the boss wave. Just in case you die or something. But if you get one hit on the boss, you'll get your XP for that boss wave. So to start with, in Killing Floor 2's new update, Neon Nightmare, they added one new map called Biolapse, where, if you're on PC, it's now an official map. Anyways, it's a holdout style map where, you go through the elevator after each wave and go to whatever room it spawns in for you. Now in addition, they also improved some skills on some of the perks. To start with, they improved Berserker's level 25 skill, Berserker Rage. Here they improved the heal percentage, the fear radius, and they also increased the fear duration. Now I actually haven't tried this out yet. I think my Berserker is like Prestige 5, level I think 15 or something. But once I do get to level 25, a couple things I want to try out here is I want to try out Vampire with Dreadnought to see, is your survivability better with this? You do always have that trade-off of damage, and I don't like to do that, but, it might be interesting. Another thing I'd like to try out here, and I think this is probably a long shot, but I'd like to try out Dreadnought and Butcher. So basically, don't run any kind of health regeneration on Berserker, and use Berserker Rage to essentially heal yourself. Now, my guess is this probably isn't going to work, but you never know, it might. With Survivalist, they improved the level 25 skill Lockdown. Here the knockdown, stumble, and stun rates are all maxed out. And basically what they're saying here is you're guaranteed that one of these are going to happen. One thing I'm really interested to try out with this, my Survivalist is level 25, but you know, double XP. I gotta get to work on those small perks. Well, anyways, once I do get to it, I want to try out the AA-12 on Survivalist with Lockdown. And my thought here is that maybe because you know, pretty much are guaranteed a stun on whatever you're shooting, that maybe you won't have to use the, you know, the high damage one-shot weapons with Survivalist on later waves. So you're not pretty much stuck using the RPG. Sometimes they use the M99 or, you know, whatever. But anyways, if Lockdown does work properly, you should be able to use like an AA-12 or maybe even a Stoner. Another thing I'm curious to try is, how does Lockdown affect grenades? So with Survivalist, I like to run the medic grenades, and I'm curious what exactly happens with them. Is, you know, does Lockdown make them all stumble if they're in your grenades? Along with that, if you're using the Medic's 501 assault rifle or even the new incendiary rifle, if something hits that fire and during Z time and you have Lockdown on, do they start stumbling around or something? Should be interesting to try out. Another thing I'm thinking about is, how does Lockdown affect even the, you know, the one-shot high damage weapons like the Doomstick or the RPG, railgun, etc.? Does it make them more powerful? Because generally speaking, with those weapons, the other level 25 skill really doesn't affect them that much. So maybe Lockdown will, you know, be a better alternative. I'm interested to try that out. For Gunslinger, they actually improved his level 15 skill, Line 'em Up, and I have actually been using this quite a bit, and I'm happy to say it works as intended, or at least it works the way you would think it would work. And one way I've enjoyed using this is actually running the right side, shooting from the hip and shooting for body shots, especially using high damage pistols like the Deagles or the Magnums, etc. You just, if they're lined up in front of you, if there's like 4 or 5 Zeds stacked up, they're gone. It's pretty satisfying. Now, one trade-off with this obviously is you're giving up the faster reload, and this can be really really annoying. So how I've compensated is just carrying 2 or 3 sets of pistols and just unload the first set, switch to the second set, unload, and once the room's cleared out, I can just load all my pistols. Now, it's not ideal, but it can be very satisfying because there's just bullets flying everywhere, and it's really fun. Another thing I'm reminded of as I'm recording this is to try out the center fire. You know, the tier 5 is actually really strong. I'm curious how Line 'em Up is going to work with that, because at tier 5 the center fire feels almost like a shotgun, and on Gunslinger it's actually a really good weapon. Now finally, with Firebug, they improved ground fire, and here they actually applied ground fire to the Dragon's Breath shotgun, the Spitfires, and the Molotovs. Now this is kind of funny because I always thought ground fire was on the Molotovs. Now I have tried this out, and my favorite by far is the Spitfires because they are extra nasty now. They're really fun to use. The Dragon's Breath's never really been my favorite because of the reload. It just drives me crazy. The Molotovs, you can easily hold down 2 lanes, maybe even 3 lanes by yourself as a Firebug now, and it's just super satisfying. And as I talked about earlier in the video about getting XP, you are going to get a ton of XP now, so you definitely want to make sure you're running ground fire on Firebug. Now as far as weapons go, they improved the Pulverizer. Here they improved the light attack to do more damage. They increased the explosive heavy attack to do more radial damage in front of the player. So the Pulverizer you can use on Berserker, also Survivalist, and the demo. As far as Berserker goes, I have used it, and I think my Berserker again is like level 15, so I don't have Smash or Massacre unlocked, so I haven't been able to try those. But as far as what I have played with the Pulverizer on Berserker, it feels really good right now. With Survivalist, I haven't tried it out yet, but when I do, I definitely want to run Melee Expert and probably run Make Things Go Boom, because they did add an extra 40% explosive resistance to this skill. And again, you can use it on Demolitionist, and I might actually try this, just max out the amount of, you know, direct impact damage it does. I don't know. I think I'm gonna die really quickly by by doing that. So maybe I might do it on like hard difficulty or something. It might be fun. Now, as far as the new weapons go, they added the HRG Incendiary Rifle, and this is for the Firebug. Now, the Incendiary Rifle shoots incendiary rounds, and basically it's just a reskin of the M16, so it has a grenade launcher. Now, the grenades are explosive, but they leave ground fire on the ground wherever they explode. So again, to maximize this, you probably want to run ground fire on your Firebug. Now, I have used this weapon a little bit, and the first thing you notice is on Farmhouse, it looks it looks really cool. I love the way this weapon looks. Now with Survivalist, I want to try this out with Make Things Go Boom and also Spontaneous Zedsplosion. Now finally, with the new paid weapon DLC, the Compound Bow, I actually have used this quite a bit. With it, you either have the sharp arrowhead, which shoots through multiple targets, and you can pick them up again, in the environment. Now for the alt-fire, they have what they're calling a cryo-freezing explosive tip. So anyways, the compound bow features different levels of charge, so the longer you pull it in, the further your guy will pull back the string, and supposedly you do more damage. Now I have tried it out with the left side, so when you're static and crouched, unlike the boss wave, and I've also used it on the right side, where you shoot faster, move faster, etc. So mainly I've been using it on Biolapse because I'll get into my critique of the update in a little bit, but it's like one map, so everybody's playing Biolapse over and over again. But it does work really well on that map, and if you played it, it's like the Zeds are constantly in your face, and the compound bow actually does pretty well. And if you're curious whether or not I'd recommend picking up this weapon, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's one of their better weapons that they've designed so far, and I think it's satisfying. The only negative is that it's 2000 Dosh, so if you're just playing survival, you really don't get to play with it that long. So, if you really want to get the most out of it, probably play it on endless mode where you can just shoot away with it and have a lot of fun. So what do you guys think of the Killing Floor 2 Neon Nightmare update? Let me know in the comments below, and they're probably the same thoughts I have about it, but let me know what you think. So as far as my opinion on the Killing Floor 2 Neon Nightmare update, I think what is here is actually really good. I like Biolapse a lot. However, one of the drawbacks is it's only a holdout style map, so no objective mode, no endless mode, and on PC they've had it for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, so it's not really a new map for them. So overall, I really wish they would have had at least 2 maps with this update. I think with 2 maps it would have been quite a bit better. As far as the perk changes go, the improved skills, I think they did a really good job with these. They feel really good now. They feel like they've been brought up to where like they should have been, especially line them up. Man, that skill used to annoy me. Every time a new pistol would come out, I tried it. I was like, yeah, maybe line them up works now, and it was just meh. Well, now it actually feels really good, and it feels like it's a different way to play Gunslinger instead of just always rack 'em up. As far as the new Incendiary Rifle goes, really good. I think it's a good weapon for the Firebug. It gives more variety to that perk. As far as the Compound Bow goes, I think it's one of their better weapon DLCs that you can pick up. I think the Ion Thruster is probably the best, at least I enjoy it the most. The Ion Thruster and the Riot Shield and G18 are excellent, and I think the Compound Bow goes in that tier. Now, I think I've said it before, I don't like the Mosin Nagant, and I think the Road Redeemer is basically just a reskin of the Katana, so it's not really a must-have weapon. But if you're thinking about picking up the Compound Bow, I'd recommend it.